I'm wondering, I know the male-female dance is really interesting, or masculine-feminine dance is really interesting to you. And I'm curious how you see that dance in yourself, how you see that dance in your relationship, how you see that dance in your life.
Yeah.
And the power of both of those needed and kind of where you are with patriarchy and feminism and all these really important conversations.
Yes. I think of it in terms of, what is called toxic masculinity. I think of it as disempowered masculine.
Okay.
Empowered masculine is the divine masculine quality in our bodies, all bodies. And then I think of the empowered feminine being, and then the disempowered feminine.
Okay.
And not surprisingly, the disempowered versions often couple up. But the invitation is to really dwell in and bask in the divine provision of these masculine and feminine qualities. And I see everything on a continuum. Everything is on a spectrum. Everything is a range.
Right.
So yeah, and in certain contexts, I might be asked to pull out my more sort of empowered masculine qualities. And in other contexts, it's actually not appropriate for me to lean on those hyper-masculine qualities and to bring the feminine in. But the best part about the feminine imperative is that we serve all.
Yeah.
So my sense is if we're going to err on the side of matriarchy, patriarchy, err on matriarchy.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
matriarchy takes care of everybody.
It's true. And so what do you think is behind the current patriarchy system? Is there a longing or a need or an exile or something that's happening that we can start to become more aware of that's not getting met?
One of the two big things off the top of my head, one is the fear of grieving, but that's a whole other conversation.
That we don't allow ourselves to grieve.
There's so much fear of grief.
Grief, okay.
Because it can flood us.
Yeah.
That's why I think titrating and pendulating and go slow to move fast, everybody. Slow it down. Because the gems are in the subtle and the healing is a process.
Yeah.
Although there are some moments of awakening that seem to come out of nowhere and really quick.
Right.
But there's been a cumulative effect to those moments. Like someone will say, how long did it take for you to write this song? And I'll say, well, the living of it took 25 years, but the writing of it took 20 minutes, but we were talking...
You're talking about what's underneath, so if we look at patriarchy, potentially there's a part that has not gotten met yet.
Yeah, I think
there's... how you see that part or that healing look like so that doesn't run our system in the same way it does.
Totally. Disempowered masculine parts of us hate vulnerability. So if we can normalize vulnerability, just pepper it throughout conversations. I think there's a perception that if we apologize, we're one below. And the pervasive messaging, back to pre-K, is if the pervasive messaging is I've got to find myself, locate myself above or below. Giant lie permeates our whole life because it is a lie. We might have hierarchies that allow us to figure out our roles in a system, but it doesn't speak to our innate worth.
Right.
So the vulnerability is part of the human condition. Why would life or God or whomever make it such that we have these sensations that we can interpret cognitively? And why would this delicate miracle system be put into place 8.1 billion times?
Yeah, right.
And they're not, for there not to be, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just lost my thought. Perimenopause, everybody.